This is the MMO Show, episode 8, recorded on Thursday, August 13th, 2015.
Hey, I'm Brent Copeland. Wait, is that how it goes? Or
Yes, hit it.
how's it going tonight?
It's going well.
It's busy.
I'm just kind of trouncing over any kind of opening that was happening. I just was all confused, so I'm gonna just shut up now.
No, you're fine. Because this is the MMO Show, episode 8, and tonight on the show we have Brent.
Hi again.
Hi again. How's it going?
I was here a few minutes ago, just saying hi.
Yeah. For those of you not in the live stream, we are recording especially late tonight. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, but hey, we're committed. We're getting this thing done. So if the show is short tonight, it's because we're old people and we can't stay up that late. Also on the show with us tonight is Shannon.
Finally.
Down on the floor.
Yeah, I'm on the floor.
Recording on
This is my
her
dog.
basement floor. Her dog is very curious as to what the problem is.
He's like, why is she on the floor?
Yeah.
Ruff.
There's my other dog.
And there's the other dog. Yes. And
Does that mean? Does that get him riled up?
I don't think they can hear you.
I gotta get more high pitched, I think. Oh, I'm getting my animals riled up.
Go on. Go lay down.
I'm gonna girl. Sorry about that.
I never asked
Go lay down. Yeah.
Brent,
Oh.
what were you drinking tonight?
I'm actually drinking water. I finished my shake and now I'm just straight up water.
Was the shake actually pink, or was that just because of the cup?
It's more brownish. It's like a peanut chocolate shake thing. So probably a little bit of the cup. Yeah, the cup's pink. So brown and pink together make a really ugly brown.
It sounds like a Reese's Health Shake.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, what do you got sipping on?
I definitely need a beer at this point. I have a new Belgium Skinny Dip summer beer.
Very, very refreshing sounding.
Nice.
It's a lovely beer.
And I am Steve with the typical Disaronn on the rocks. Jason has the night off. If you, again, missed the live stream, you just missed Jason walk by almost naked.
Oh, man.
This is what you get for missing the live show.
Yeah, for those who stuck with us through the technical difficulties, you got to see that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lucky.
He's going to be so mad at me.
This is the collector's edition of the
Yeah.
show.
I'm going to have to delete that immediately.
It's ingrained in your mind. Tonight we're going to throw things a little bit differently. Instead of going through what we've typically been playing, we might still have some news at the end of the show. But we kind of want to discuss a topic.
No, I thought we would still do what we're
We're
playing.
still doing? Oh, we can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because, we won't. Yeah, because I kind of wanted to hear about Gamescom, too. Okay, here's how I thought it would go, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Our pre-show got all jacked up because of technical difficulties, and we were going to, like Steve was trying to explain, we want to add a topic element to the show this week, which we kind of had talked about doing anyway, and we just hadn't done it yet. But anyway, I still thought we would do, like, what you've been playing, then do a topic, and then shove some news in there if we had time. Fair?
So then, sure.
All right.
So what we could say then,
Go away,
is-
Murdoch. Go lay down.
we could say go away, Murdoch.
Go
Sorry.
away, Murdoch.
I mute this. You guys go ahead.
Okay. So later on in the show, we will be talking about housing. We might also cover a couple bits of MMO news, but first let's get into what we have been playing this week. Brent and Shannon, I think, are playing the same MMO.
Yeah, I think that'd be safe to say.
Have you guys
playing a little
met up?
EverQuest.
Have you
No.
guys met up? No? Oh, okay.
Once he showed up and gave me a dress, and it's a very pretty dress, and
They're like,
Then I
see you
guess-
later.
never saw him again. Never saw him again. I did get a bunch of plat. I don't know if it's a bunch. I'm up to almost 200 plat though. 'Cause
Nice.
I'm selling like whenever someone says like they want like stupid thick grizzly bear furs or spiderling silks or whatever, I'm like, here. And they're like, here, is this a fair price? I'm like, sure. I might be being robbed. I don't know, but it seems like a good deal.
Hey, if
Better
you're
than
making
what
money, it sounds good.
it's better than what I would get from vendoring it. So
Very true.
But yeah, so I'm at level 7 and level 4. I have a level 7 wizard and a level 4.
Oh, that's good because Spencer just started, and
I know. I was thinking I could be a good cleric for him, right?
So is that what your secondary is? As a cleric?
Well, yeah, until I pass the other one.
Well,
what's your deal?
I've been I had a horrible night playing the night after I got back from the convention because I was really tired and I kept playing anyway, and I would just like look up and I'd be like, oh look, I just ran out into the middle of a camp and they all killed me, so that's not good. Yeah. And I was just having a hard time like making pools and stuff just because I was just too tired, and where I was fighting took a little more concentration than I had at the moment. So I lost probably about half a level or more on my level 26 necro. So I kind of went off and started. Well, I went to bed that night because I was like, sure sign I probably should just go to sleep. But I've been playing a druid too that's like level 4 and a monk that's level 3. All spread out across the world because we are like in normal games you can just fly around and you're with your friends in 5 minutes. In EverQuest, like I'm in the middle of the world. Shannon is on the east on the world, and Spencer's on the west of the world. And no lie here, for Shannon, he's in Quanos.
And no one goes to Quanos. Everyone goes to Freeport.
Yeah,
anyone goes to Freeport, and like. Oh, I don't even know how to talk to him now.
And seriously, for Shannon to get over to where he is would seriously take probably 2 hours. If like there was no tragedy and death along the way. So that may not happen immediately. But yeah, EverQuest. And I just got back from, like you're saying, from the GameCon that was over the weekend.
I wanted to hear about that. So GamesCon, not Gamescom. GamesCon,
not the German version,
is a different gaming convention, and it's in Texas at the same time as Gamescom. So there's some confusion.
A little bit, it sounds like.
Okay, but I think I got it straight, right?
I was trying to. Oh wow, that still got the transitions on from the weekend. But yeah, the GameCon, it was like a general gaming thing, and wow, it's actually playing the audio. I'll stop that.
Okay.
I was playing it for the audience, but it's basically a general game conference. They talk about Minecraft, but it's a bunch of panels and rooms with different games. But Eric and I were basically in the main panel listening to all the main panelists talk about different things like YouTube, building a brand, things like that. And we basically recorded it all and streamed it out live. So we sat there in that room for a long time, but it was really good. It turned out well for the amount of equipment we have. I mean, compared to like big streaming companies. Mm-hmm. So it'll be on YouTube soon if you didn't get to go to the GameCon, and you can see the footage there. Or you can come over to my house, bring some popcorn. We can sit back and watch it.
Sounds
fun too.
That sounds awesome. So you had a good time?
Yeah, I had a really good time.
And you said that they're thinking about doing it again next year?
They announced that they were going to do it again. No dates yet. They said they would get us to come back and stream again. No dates yet. So if they do, if you're anywhere near Galveston, I would say go. I mean, it looked like everybody was having fun that was there.
Did you say that this is their second year?
It kind of. Last year it started off as a convention called Arcadia Con, and then the group who did that con kind of split up into 2 groups. One went to Florida and continued Arcadia Con, and then this group decided to stay where they were. And honestly, I got to say that I think I was a bigger fan of the GameCon this year. It seemed more, I don't know, the events. It seemed like there was more to do at the convention. Not just panels. There were a bunch of rooms where you could play board games or new consoles or old consoles. And then a bunch of panel rooms, and it looked like everybody was having fun.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very cool. You guys are doing any other MMO playing this week, or activities that you want to share?
I moved my entire computer setup upstairs.
Yes, you did.
I cleaned out the entire spare room and moved everything around, and then tonight I moved it all back downstairs.
Because for some reason, hey, you know what? Sometimes just the way your home is built, the Wi-Fi doesn't like it.
Yeah, so it sounds like fate. Fate was saying that you need to be in that room.
I'm really bummed now, though. Like after I got it all set up. No, I'll probably just move the desk back downstairs.
Maybe just stay on the floor. I mean, who needs a desk?
Yeah, it's good for my back.
Get closer with the dogs, and
it's probably a great angle too.
Well. It works. It works. I don't think anybody has any issues.
Well, thanks everybody. Yeah, that's about all I did. What'd you do, Slurm? Oh, I played Clash of Clans, but no one ever wants to hear about it. So I play Clash of Clans all the time. We war twice a week, so that's always happening. But
how's that clan going?
Great. We just got a new lady that joined. So I think we're up to 15 active people who war, but we got like about 19 or 20 people that in the clan. Because some people are in the clan, but they don't do the warring part. So
gotcha. They just help with resources.
Yeah, they just they're building up for whatever reason. They're like maybe building up their working on building up to the next level or something. So they're not actively warring. So, but anyway, yeah.
Myself, still. A lot of Final Fantasy 14. It's still a thing. Really no news.
I heard you're rich. No news. I heard you got rich.
I got rich. I think I may have mentioned it on the show before, but the Golden Saucer part of the game, which is the big casino, I think I might have actually said something last week.
Yeah.
But there's a game within it that it's the mini Cacpot. It's basically like a scratch off lotto ticket, but you have to, on a 9-number grid, you can select. There's already one spot revealed, and you can select 3 more to reveal, and then you have to choose what line on the card that you're going to reveal the rest of. And then depending on what combination of numbers you get, whatever the combination numbers totals, will grant you a certain payout of MGP, which is basically the Golden Saucer currency. And you can use that currency to buy like triple triad cards or to buy stuff for your chocobo for chocobo racing, etc., etc. There's a lot of other stuff. But I've always, since I've been back to the game, hovered around like 1,000 MGP, which is not very much at all. I think you can actually just outright buy 500 when you start. So really did not have very much. But with the biggest payout that you can get for the mini Cacpot card, which is a once a day. You can do it once a day, but you can actually do 3 or 4 tickets. But each time you do the ticket, you have to spend, like the first one's 100 MGP, the next one's 200, the next one's 300, and so on. But I think you can only do it 3 or 4 times before it says, okay, that's as much as you can do today. Get the hell out of my face. But I did one yesterday or the day before and got the 10,000 MGP payout.
Whoa.
Was a lot.
That's
now you're rich.
That's considered good, right? That's a good amount.
Guess. Well, that's good for that. It's the most you can get out of that. But I know there's like the weekly Cacpot, which is basically like playing the lottery. You pick 4 numbers. You buy a ticket, you pick 4 numbers, and then at the Saturday night they will reveal the winning numbers. And like the top prize payout is like a just crap ton of MGP. But I thought that I was doing real well. Like I go, oh, I got 10,000 MGP. I'm doing really, really, really good. And there's a guy on Twitter after I had posted a picture of my winnings, said something. Yeah, I'll have to show you mine when I get home. Apparently he wins like 10,000 all the freaking time. He's got like millions of MGP. Yeah, pretty much. Well, not really a hacker, but there's ways to kind of mathematically figure what the best row is going to be based on the numbers that you revealed and yada, yada, yada.
So he knows how to play the game is what you're saying.
He knows how to play the game. But even then, there's still just chance in it. You can kind of like, okay, there's most likely my best bet is to go with this row. But not every card will have the 10,000 payout either. I found like tonight, I went, I bought every one that I was able to buy for the night. And even after buying all of them and looking at all the possible payouts that I could have had, even after not getting the payout that I wanted, none of the cards that I bought actually had a 10,000 payout. So it's not like I could have possibly got it. But other than that, still enjoying the actual game. I'm kind of having an issue right now because I want to play a scholar. Like that's the game, that's the class that I got to, and I'm really enjoying. I was enjoying the story, but I haven't been playing the story or the scholar at all because I actually switched to another class just so that I could get a specific ability, which everybody says, hey, later on when you're doing dungeons, you're going to need this one cross-class ability. It's going to be like very, very important to you. So I have to get to level 26 on the thaumaturge to get swift cast. And once I get that, I can switch back to scholar, but it's kind of boring me. So I'm trying to muscle through it so I can get back to playing what I like.
And the scholar, is that a new trade skill?
No, it's like a healer.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like the class changed into, and it's like a subclass or something?
Yeah, it's an advanced job, is what they call it. Because you start off as like a conjurer or an arcanist. And then once you get a level 30
you can
arcanist...
start as a thaumaturge, though, if you're going... Well, because I'm going white mage, so I started as
right. But you can...
which is a different healer. But anyway.
Right.
There's multiple ways to go.
Gotcha. Now, is that a monthly fee game?
Yes,
yeah, it's just like, it's your traditional, monthly thing.
Okay. I have an account. I just didn't know if they'd switched it, and I haven't played in so long. And now all my money's going to EverQuest, so I can't go back and play it right now.
Speaking of EverQuest, I want to join a guild, but I want to join the same guild as you guys, but I don't want to run a guild because that's a lot of work, and I want to meet like a lot of people who are playing, but I tried to join, like last week I think I mentioned I tried to join a guild and I hadn't heard back. Yeah, they never talked to me. And
which one was it?
I don't want to call them out because that's rude. And then I tried to join another one this week and they never answered me. So I know it's because like I'm level 7 and they're probably like whatever. But don't you think they should at least reply and say thanks for the interest, but maybe get back to us when you hit level 10 or or something like that?
Is this on their website or in game?
No, on their website.
Okay. Well, their website may be dead. Kind of like someone may not be getting the stuff, or
there's other people there.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but I actually started an EverQuest website for our server.
I did. I saw that. Oh, you should pull that up. I would pull that up. I'm used to doing that.
Sorry. It's anyway. It's we play on the server called Lockjaw, and it's basically because of how the information is. All the information in the world is wrong when it comes to EverQuest in our server, if you go searching for it somewhere.
Because everything's either designed for people who are playing the Project 99 or people who are playing like all the other, real EverQuest games. And so this is like this weird niche of gamers playing this weird progressive server. So yeah, I thought it was really beneficial to get like some tips and stuff for where we're at in EverQuest.
And I started a guild directory now on it, so we might be able to actually talk to some folks through that.
Yeah, one of those.
Because obviously they're actively looking for people, and I know one of them, the Sad Dragons, just moved over from a different server, and so it really kind of I think depends on whether they're a raiding guild or if they're just trying to be a friends and have fun guild. There's like the drunken something might be a good one for us to look at.
Because I want to be like, I know I'm not like of level to be helpful now, but I want to get in early so that like I want to start making connections and know people, and like that's how I get involved in the community,
right.
Is by getting involved in the guild. And I know I wouldn't be super beneficial at this point, but like that all grows, and going solo sucks. Like the whole point of EverQuest is to like join up with people. So
yeah, definitely. I would even make a message on the Reddit. It's kind of weird. Like there is a Lockjaw Reddit, but it's useless. You got to go to the main EverQuest Reddit, which is, I think most of the people who are playing EverQuest right now are playing on the progression servers.
Okay.
Because it's like taken over the EverQuest Reddit. Like most of the posts are about the progression servers and not just the general game itself. So at least in my mind, that says that people are kind of playing the new stuff, and they're even talking about opening up a new server. So I wonder if they're like, hey, we're actually making money now.
Holy shit, people like just this basic version?
Yeah, they hate all the crap we made.
Well, because I think that happens a lot where for some of us, I mean, I'm sure people who really stick with their game love their game, but for some of us, like I know for me, even with World of Warcraft, it just gets so out of hand that I can't catch up. So I just kind of poke in from time to time and then I take off because it's overwhelming to me to join up with an MMO that has so much history. Yeah. Like I'm never going to catch up. I'm never going to be there. And this gives me a chance to like start fresh and I don't feel so lost, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I know we've said on the show, this is something I thought of earlier today. It was mulling around in my head, possibly as a blog post, but then as I was writing it, I didn't like where it was going. I know what we've said before is like we can't really go back to like the old games, and I think this is kind of proving that maybe that's not true. Like you can totally go back and revisit it if it's in its like vanilla state. So then I thought, okay, what if they did the same thing with Dark Age?
Yeah, or what if they like totally took Dark Age back to, you know, basics, or what if they took World of Warcraft and took it back to vanilla?
Right. Like well, who would go back to that?
I don't know
like,
if anyone
I would
go.
really consider going back to Dark Age.
If they just did a like one server.
Right.
Oh, I would go back to pure.
Like, that's the exception. Is like we've talked before about how we can't.
I want Darkness Falls. I want the second one.
That's true.
Yeah, you gotta have Darkness Falls in there, but then stop. Stop forever. Just give me Dark Souls and stop forever.
Like the old Frontiers.
Don't mess up the game.
That's when I was done. But anyway.
See, now I wonder if they took EverQuest, and like right now they're working on EverQuest Next, which they've pretty much destroyed at this point. They shouldn't use EverQuest in the name at all, at least, in my opinion. But if they took EverQuest and just said, okay, we're going to actually just make EverQuest, but it's the same game you always played, but we're just going to up the graphics and the UI and make it playable like modern day MMOs, but with all the original content. And we're going to keep the originals there, so if your machine can't handle it or whatever, but if you want to switch over for free and go over here, we'll transfer your characters or something. I don't know, try to get them into a like modern thing and then capture new people into the modern thing, but start at the original. And they've got all this content that's just like pre-produced for them, kind of, for all the expansions. I don't know. It may not work at all. And I don't know why I brought it up. Let me quiet now.
It could work. I don't know. Anyway.
So
that's where we're at with gaming, I guess.
But does EverQuest have housing?
Yeah, but not yet. Not in the one we're doing. But yeah, eventually, I guess.
Yeah, it's actually got like I have a genie bottle that's my house on a different server. Oh. So I rub the genie bottle and I get sucked into it, and then I'm in my house.
That's pretty
Which
rad.
I thought was kind of cool. And kind of a cool way to do, like, well, it's an instanced housing kind of thing, and it makes sense that you're in your bottle, I guess, if you have a genie. Genies are a thing.
Genies happen. Look it up. Read a book.
I saw it on a T-shirt.
In a genie bottle. Okay, so speaking of housing.
Segue's just not working out for me.
No, we're trying to shoehorn that in there, but it's just not going to happen. Let's just... Bam. It's just going to...
I think it takes the picture, honestly.
Freaking fracking housing. I do have a fantasy about housing.
What is your...
I have
I have a dream speech about
do we need to get Jason down here?
No. I have a super detailed what I want housing thing. First of all, I think housing needs to be like multi-useful, not just like it needs to be integrated into the actual world, not just I don't like instanced, except I have some exceptions. Okay. For example, like have different, I guess, layers of housing. So like the first layer of housing would be the most basic layer, basically an individual apartment. So like it would be set up so that anyone could afford housing and it wouldn't take up any space, because what that housing would be is an instanced in room that you would like basically own forever. But like say Slurms, say we're at the same inn in some stupid town. So I rent that room, and like, but we would I'm not saying it right. The game would never run out of rooms, because say Slurms, like, you're like, well, I want that room. Well, you would rent that room and it would just be an instance change. But the difference of it being an instance thing is that it would still be a real inn, like in a real town in the game. You know what I mean? So that would be different than just being some floaty little foo-foo magical place.
It kind of sounds like the inn rooms in Final Fantasy 14 actually has it. You can go and be in an inn, but I don't know how much customization there is in that.
Yeah, I would want something a little more like an actual little apartment, like, and maybe you could. I would want it to be where you could like decorate it and stuff like that. It would be like maybe a studio, like one's a studio apartment, and then you could have another one that would actually be like a nicer apartment. And then I would want an outside feature, like a patio or a maybe
potted plants.
Yeah, so you could do some potted plants, some herbalism or something like that. You could do some crafting in your house, even on the cheap. If you're a casual player, this would be your personal little house.
Now, if cops come in because they're worried about like the heat lamps that are in there. What are you growing?
Maybe,
bad boys.
But this would be like that would be like the very, very noob experience for the MMO housing. Like anyone could afford it, so everyone could have their own house. They would never run out of houses, and you could have that house be anywhere in the world as long as they have inns somewhere, you know, so it would still be a place where people would be going into the towns because their houses would be there. And then the, you know, that the devs could control how expensive they were depending on how wanted they were. So if they had like cheap little swampy areas, those could be cheaper, you know, maybe than some super fancy little farm community, you know, fancy richy area. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, and then you could have a set. So like maybe the really cheap ones would be like one or two, like, but you could friend like maybe one or two people to, you know, to use your house as well. You could have a nicer apartment, have like 4 to 6 people. And then after that, you would actually have housing, but the housing would be in the real world. And that's where, those houses, you could have actual like houses that people could build, and the devs could control like how many houses in a village, so that they don't get too overrun.
Arcade.
Not except less, I would say, like so it's not so stupid messy where you have houses on top of houses on top of houses and it look terrible. But like have more hook points where you could set up like but like I did like we would have cottages or little houses or you know,
zoned.
Yeah, like you could set that up and have it workable or whatever. You could have basically like awesome houses for guild houses and things like that, so that groups could afford fancier little houses and stuff. But then eventually, like you could, one thing that like Arcade didn't really do is they had really small setups for where their houses could be. Like I didn't understand, like maybe go a Star Wars Galaxies route where, okay, this used to be a field, but now there's a whole town there because no one was using it anyway. And
farming this.
Put up their whole like little community there, and they built it. They put in their crafting and all that stuff there as well.
I gotta ask you though, has there been an MMO where you think that they've had a really good housing system? No one's done all that stuff. Okay. And actually, some of that stuff was stuff I wanted before Arcade came out, and Arcade came out and did a lot of it, so I was kind of happy with some of it. But they over limited it though. Like they didn't have enough housing for everybody, and they didn't have it set up so that you didn't have one guy with 29 plots like taking them all over. Yeah, and like, I agree with you.
To limit that, like
I agree with your point with like the hook points. I didn't like that stuff was so intermixed.
Yeah.
It was like, here's the housing, and then it was up to the players to decide how that was laid out, which was neat, but then it caused a lot of issues with, hey, I'm like 5 centimeters away from being able to put this house here because this jerk put his stuff around it in a certain way.
And, well, on top of that, yeah, they were setting it up to block off the most space for themselves. Or you'd have someone panic to get something, and you have like a farm like in the middle of your almost perfect area.
Oops.
Like crap. So yeah, so I thought that could have ended up, and then too, you had no roads, or it didn't look like a natural little. It looked like, it just looked like a ghetto, right? Like it's just piles and piles of housing with like nothing looking very nice. But I was thinking more like when I was thinking of this, like Dark Age of Camelot, you'd have Cotswold, but then you'd have that one little town where the what were they? They were the kilts. What was that?
I know what you're talking about.
Scottish people.
Yeah.
For 200.
Yeah, but they were off. Like their starter town
was on the opposite of Camelot, the opposite side of Camelot from Cotswold.
But no one ever hung out there because you just take off and go to Cotswold. But like that was a whole village that was just abandoned all the time. Like that would be perfect to like have some housing there, like for people to use instead of having instance housing everywhere, which I don't like instance housing.
And
I didn't like Dark Age of Camelot system.
No,
I liked that you could go, or they kind of forced it, that if people were selling things from their vendor, you had to go to their house. But that I hated that. It was cool that they had a reason to go there, but I hated that was the reason.
Yeah.
Well, in EverQuest 2, they kind of had a cool idea where you bought the houses in different areas. So like if you were poor, you would buy it in the slums, and if you had the money, you would buy it down by the docks or whatever. But I don't know how it turned out. Like once everybody had money to buy the nice house, I thought originally it was, well, there's only X amount of nice houses in the main cities, and that's just how it is, and the cost will go up as they fill up and stuff, and you paid monthly for the houses. You actually had to pay rent.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I mean, in that system, it may be to kind of keep that if people aren't using the house and it's the only one there, they can't just keep it forever.
That's why I was thinking the apartment would be better. Because, all right, hey, sorry, my dog just snapped at my cat.
The cat probably deserved it. I'll be honest with you.
Right now. So that's why I was thinking, like the individual, baby houses, the apartments would be better for people who, I want to share something with like 4 to 6 friends, and but it's not taking up tons of space like for housing, because you still have this this home in the village still, but it's like pretty much unlimited if you do it that way.
And I think that's would be a great way to kind of do a guild system in a game. Is like, as your guild, you put funds in to build a castle, and your guild basically grows as big as that castle, because like, who's going to want to join the guild that doesn't have a room that they can make? They're like, well, you all got rooms, why don't I have one? Well, let's make the guild bigger and grow the castle bigger and put more rooms in there.
So far, that's kind of the thing I've been enjoying about Final Fantasy 14. I don't have one yet, but
They're really expensive.
Yeah. Yes. Homes in Final Fantasy 14 are crazy expensive, basically to the point where you have to be in a guild or free company, as they call it in that game, to have one, or just be exceptionally rich. But if you're in the free company, you can have your own room, and that room of yours is instance. It's expensive, but it's way more obtainable. It's 300,000 gil, I believe, and I'm even at an early level that I am now, I'm already over 100,000. So it's totally doable.
Okay, so do you have to now, when you buy a room, is it forever, or do you have to pay for it monthly?
I believe it's as long as you're still in the free company.
So you just have to pay. It's a lot, but you only pay for it once.
I believe, yeah, and I also believe that you only have to pay for it once, and then you can buy or craft decorations for your own room. So
doesn't sound all that free to me.
But yeah. I like the system so far, but again, I have not got my own room. I know there's some MMOs that I've not experienced the housing in, like Rift had housing come later. People seem to enjoy it, that how customizable it was. Trying to think of other MMOs that have had housing. I guess question for you guys, is there an MMO, because I know Shannon kind of mentioned how she would have rather had Dark Age at Camelot implement the housing, but is there an MMO that doesn't have housing out there that you would prefer that it had housing? Like, is there one that you're like, oh god, I really wish this one had housing that doesn't?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say Garrisons is housing, but maybe now. Yeah.
It's close with the instance nature of it, that it's your own place, but it's not as customizable.
I think most MMOs have come up with some sort of housing. I mean, if you count something like that, like some sort of housing, is just no one's really done anything I liked all the way with it.
Gotcha. See, mine, the one I was thinking of is Guild Wars 2.
But oh, they don't have any housing. Yeah.
No, and it's one that I really, really wish had housing.
I don't know what they would do though.
I don't know. It would definitely be something instant.
Because, like, I mean, the thing that would worry me with Guild Wars 2 is, like, just going through houses. They don't even have, like, you can't even go through, like, NPC houses. Like, there's so much there that's just for looks. Yep. I mean, so I don't even know.
Facade.
Yeah, yeah. So, that, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith that they would have a big housing thing that I would enjoy.
Probably not.
But that's not fair because I don't know what they're doing. So
you could love it. It could be the best housing ever.
You're right. You're right. That's totally unfair. I mean, because they don't have it. So
they're gonna make that thing you were talking about. It's gonna be apartments, and then it's gonna be.
They're probably listening to the show right now. They're going, "Man, this is a great idea."
Do you think I overlove housing maybe and have too high of expectations? Like,
I don't know that it's overlove. One of my questions I was going to ask you was, do you think how crucial to an MMO is housing?
Well, that's what I was kind of going. I didn't really say it very well, but that's why I think like you need to make housing important. Like I don't like for crafting, for example, it doesn't need to be something it doesn't have to be absolutely critical, like, but it definitely should be something where it's like very nice to have, like have these
convenience.
Yeah, like a matter of convenience for crafting. So like they might have different elements depending on how you're gaming, and I just was basically thinking about like farming, or herbalism, or you could have something in your house to make it so that you had a reason. Maybe it's not the most God, I'm the worst. I'm like totally still like mad about my computer.
You want it to be the one-stop shop.
I don't want it to be the one-stop shop because that's going to make people not play anything but their housing. Housing shouldn't be a form of isolation either. It should be something that's
well, then maybe it's one of the things we've always talked about on the other MMO show was like guilds being that housing, like you're housed together and you're doing things to kind of increase.
Statement of it would be
right, and it makes, I don't know, in my eyes it makes more sense in like a fantasy setting where you're the hero or whatever. Like what heroes actually have a home? Like you said, they're in taverns all the time, sleeping on the ground, going to kill dragons, and then they go to the home at the end and throw all their gems in the closet or something. But then you're done with the game at that point, right? So,
like in DOC, like for example, like with the guild house, I didn't even have my own house because the guild house was all I needed, and so we all just kind of kept making that everything we needed. So depending on if we needed God damn, I'm like the worst today. Like I can't even think of words right now. Whenever you wanted to like whenever
Well, like
can't do
like
it.
crafting and
Not crafting so much. Well, that obviously too, but no. Whenever you wanted to take, when you want to go to another land, but you can't get to the land
Teleport?
because teleport. I'm thinking like telephone.
When I wanted
yeah.
to telephone to the
This
Karanas.
is not right. So yeah, so you could go ahead and do the certain types of telephones.
hello, this is the operator.
Yeah, you would have definite benefits to having the house, making it beneficial to everyone in the guild, a reason for them to be using it, but something that's not totally going to make it so that that's only the place they're at. You don't want to make it so that they're not engaging in the community.
Right. You don't want it to be that they're sitting there and queuing for dungeons or whatever.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Because that was part of what made the community it was really bad for the community for a while, because everyone who was doing all of the crafting, they had all of these mines and armor and stuff like that. Yeah, and they had this community, and like it was already set up so that they could go ahead and make all this merchant and stuff in the big towns and stuff. And then when they went to the housing, on top of, they stopped doing that, because then they would just do it from their houses. And and so there has to be a reason. There has to be like a reason to have the house, make it beneficial, but not have it completely just become everything. There's a limit, and it just seems like everyone who does housing, it's one or the other. Either it's a complete waste and I don't need it, or it's completely taking over and making the community, a mess, because no one's doing anything in the towns anymore.
That's what the WoW garrisons did. I mean, completely didn't need to go anywhere near town ever again.
Right. I mean, so do you want it?
One of the footballs said, "Get off the floor. It's making you stupid." I'm so sorry. I am a mess right now. I'm like totally thinking of like how to fix my computer and not paying attention to anything.
Long cable.
Because I was actually really excited to talk about this, and then I've lost all my words. So
I have the solution that we used in my house is I have 200-foot Cat 5 cables and my wife hates it because they're just like hanging off the wall. Like it looks horrible. But like one's running downstairs to where my kids play like console and sometimes need to plug in, and then one runs like into our bedroom. It's horrible, but it works because I hate Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
but then we have 3 Wi-Fi routers too. But.
I was like, can't I just like take that one cord and like have it go to the other side of the house? And it's like I mean, we're talking like from one side to the other, from the basement to the upstairs. It would just be this crazy cord. He's like, I have no idea how we would even start doing that. I'm like, I know.
It's housing. It's housing. You just get the cable, plug it into the router, and then throw it up the stairs if you need to, down the hallway, get it into your computer, and then just start hanging it off things along the way until it's out of your way. That's the method I use.
Make it part of the decorations.
I think my cat would just take it over eventually.
Yeah, and then tell yourself, one day I'm going to run this up into the attic and then straight down to the other room so it looks pretty.
But you won't.
But I won't. Google will figure out how to make my Wi-Fi good enough that I don't need cables before that, right? So
yeah. But back to the housing. I'm really sorry I'm messing up all of the words and everything. Slurms, you haven't really talked much. You've been listening tons. What do you want? Do you want housing? Do you care?
I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth over the years because, like, one of the first housing systems that I started messing around with and started to enjoy was Lord of the Rings. And I don't think I disliked their housing system at all. I like the fact that it was kind of off in its own place. There was a lot of houses around you. I think that's one of my things with housing in MMOs. I like to see that there's multiple houses around. I don't want it to just be a cordoned off area that I can't see anyone else's place.
Yeah. Like I don't like WildStar's housing at all. Like,
and I'm not familiar with that.
You are literally in a flying field.
Oh wow.
Only you own. It is completely instanced, and so like it's not even like you're in a setting. You're flying in the sky in this big square. And
that was kind of my issue with SWTOR as well, though. So the Star Wars: The Old Republic, you got your own ship, and that was awesome. But and that kind of became your house.
But they have housing now. It's different.
Do they? Oh, they totally do.
You're the
right.
one that told me you got a house.
That's right. I forgot. I've totally disowned that game in my head, I guess. That's right. There is housing now, but SWTOR has the same issue there, that it's a completely separate thing. You can't see anyone else's. Everyone has the same house of one of like 3 or 4 different versions. So, but no, I like to see other people's houses, and in like Lord of the Rings Online, I like the system. Brent brought it up earlier about how you had to pay like a monthly like in-game fee to keep your house. What was that game again, Brent, that you said had that?
EverQuest 2.
Okay. So Lord of the Rings had the same system, and it was nice that, okay, you're taking up this plot. If you end up leaving the game, then like the next month your thing's going to come up and be due, and if no one pays it, it's gone. So it kind of weeds out the people that aren't playing the game, which is good and bad. I mean, the bad part is that if you were just kind of short on cash to pay the monthly fee or whatever that month, but I mean, Lord of the Rings is free now, but back in the day when it wasn't, it was kind of like, well, I couldn't pay for the game this month, but I lost my house, so that kind of sucks.
DOC had rent you had to pay. I'm sure.
That's right, they did. Yeah.
I do like. Have y'all ever played Gmod Towers?
No.
Have y'all ever heard of Gmod on like Steam? It's like a mod where they basically take the guts of all these different games and use the assets to almost make other games or stuff.
Oh, Gary's mod.
Yeah, Gary's mod, and they've come out with a Gmod Tower, which is basically a hub to play these mini games. But in the tower, it's a big hotel, so you get your room.
Huh.
And you use your points from all the different stuff to like decorate your room. And I love how they do it. Like, but I don't see that really, I don't know, working as well in like an MMO. You know, it would be kind of awkward. But well, I don't know. It's like you said, if you did like the taverns, then you have a bunch of rooms kind of together. That would be kind of similar, I guess. Because you just go up and you talk to a lady and she's like, your room is number 9. And then you go down the hallway and there's number 9, and you go in and you can invite people into your room and throw parties and cool stuff like that.
Yeah, that's like the apartment idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. I mean, that's where I think like you need both. Like you need an instance like apartment thing for like really casual people who want something simple, like so that everyone can afford some sort of housing, but then you need some actual housing to where people can build their own like housing community, so that it feels like there's a real village and stuff that the community is having in those zones and stuff. I think you need both. I don't think you could do it either way.
And I really like the idea of having effects. And I don't know if this would go in guild halls or if it would go in homes and housing. I guess it would depend on the size of the creature. But I think, like, say when you kill a dragon, you know, you take the head back and you mount it in your guild hall.
Yeah.
And then you can come up to it and get a buff by, you know, rubbing it or whatever. But maybe smaller mobs or something in a dungeon, when you're going in with just like 5 of your friends, maybe you can take back some kind of souvenir from that dungeon and put on your wall in your house or on your mantle or whatever, and get some sort of benefit from, you know, going to it. As well as I think maybe that's some benefits you can have for sleeping in your house, depending on the size of the house where it is. Maybe you get a better, you know, 10-hour, 12-hour buff or something for sleeping, you know, for eating good meals.
Yeah, DOC did it so where, like, whenever you kill something, you can make it like a trophy in your house. But I don't think you got benefits for it. But that's interesting. That would be kind of cool.
I do like that. If I can rub these things.
Yeah.
You love rubbing things.
Because some of those
they call them
like
Robin Hood.
Like, why would I want that in my house? That's disgusting. But if I got a benefit out of it.
Well, then it could be like Robin Hood Slurms and tights.
Ooh.
Is that how it goes?
I like where
Maybe
this is
not.
going.
Okay. And then have like the armor stands where you put your armor and you can see your armor like in the room, like on the stand and things like that. Your sword in the mantle above the fireplace, or your staff, whatever it may be. But like an altar room in a library, if you're like a a magic user of some sort, things like that, or like would clerics like build cathedrals and temples and things like that, and that be their housing?
Yeah, when they go to rest,
that's a
they can
great
sit there
idea.
and sit and pray or whatever.
I think there should be a limit on how much housing each character could have. I think that was a problem in Arc Age where people would have 20 different plots, and I think it's ridiculous and greedy and mean. I didn't like that because I didn't have a house. So, I don't care if you can afford it. I think there should be a limit on how many housing plots you can have per character in a game.
Well, and I'd love it if they took it in not the approach of what I've seen so far is just there's houses there. They're all basically the same. Whatever you do with it, you can change it inside or outside, blah, blah, blah. But they're all a shell. Play with it.
You want stores and
I want them to take account of what you are, what your class is. Where would you actually sleep? If you're a warrior and you're kind of in an army, maybe you're sleeping in a military bunk. But like I said, if you're a cleric, you would be in a cathedral. With a monk would be in a monkery, if that's a word, with a bunch of monks and I don't know if this was the one that had trade skill classes, like a blacksmith is a class, then they would live above their blacksmith and really look at what it is and make it realistic almost.
Okay, yeah, and then depending on the house, it would be limited. Maybe your house, you can't have a farm and a blacksmith and teleportation and and magical, whatever magical people do.
Right.
Their house would have to
Magic.
be their house would have to be something kind of basic, depending on the size, and not just all one big mansion all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. I like
Gotcha.
it. You can get options, but you can have also class-based options.
Yeah. Something that would make it beneficial to you, but definitely not something that's going to keep you from joining the community out in the real world either. Because you need other things. So. Well,
and what if, and this, I don't know if this appeals to anyone, but what if, your house was basically, well, no, then you would have to be married to someone. But I was going to say, you basically had a significant other that basically took care of your house. You come home to sleep and add crap to it. But then you go off adventuring and someone's at home taking care of the mainstay. I guess you could hire someone a butler or a child or
hire a child.
Don't you hire children all the time? I do. Mow my yard.
I got in trouble last time.
Oh, sorry. I didn't turn you in.
With Jason and I both playing MMOs, of course, we would trust each other to allow each other to share a house. We'd have a nicer house because we would pool pretty much our
resources
and time to build our house.
Right.
So yeah, that would work.
Or you could just hire a child.
I think hiring children is probably the best idea. Of course, they'll make it all blocky and Minecrafty, so I'd watch out for that.
True. Ugh. Damn kids these days. Their blocks and their Minecraft and their Dan Fogelberg.
What the hell?
I don't know.
What do you guys think of because Slurms made the comment earlier, I think, where houses, you got 4 or 5 different looks of houses, and then you pick one of those 4 that you're going to purchase for how your house is going to look. What about something like Landmark or Minecraft or how Camelot Unchained, how you actually build the actual house yourself, by squares?
I think that's okay in some games, but it's like I said, I think there's a point where it's I'm ready for an MMO where they make me the hero again, where I am the hero. And I'm sorry, but I don't think heroes really go around building houses so much as buying it or sleeping somewhere else. So I don't know. I think it's fine with how Landmark is, because that is what Landmark is. But
I don't mind that it's cookie cutter-y, but not like every house be the same. I like that when you have houses like in Lord of the Rings or Final Fantasy, or I'm not trying to think of other ones off the top of my head, but those are the first that came up, that they kind of fit the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's depending on the game. If it's a game that you can kind of sink into more in the lore and in the environment itself, then I really, really prefer that they stick to the aesthetics of the game. I do like that there's options, and I totally like that if, did ArcAge, did it have race? No, I don't know if anyone did. I'm trying to think like if there's any games that had like kind of racial style homes.
They did in ArcAge.
Oh, they
Like,
did in ArcAge. Okay.
Yeah, but
I was thinking Dark Age came a lot, but yeah, ArcAge did as well.
You could still buy the enemy's look though. Like they didn't restrict you. So, but yeah, personally, I like Minecraft a lot. I like building my own stuff, but I don't think I want to do it in an MMO. You know what I mean? Like MMOs, like the world I want to live in that world, not make my own world. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And plus, it's a lot of work to build your own house, and some jackal's going to come and blow it up.
And then also, inevitably, everybody's house is going to look so much better than mine. Either
I know,
so I'm
mine's
just
like
jealous.
mine is going to be a square dirt pile because that's what I make.
Like I see some of these things in Landmark, and I'm just like, you built what? Like, what is wrong with you?
I can't. I think it's fantastic. It's just nothing I could ever do. And that's where I'm going. Like, that's where I need the apartment option if they go that route, so that I don't have to build the house and I can just have my little in room and I don't have to build anything.
A goal to have in the game, not necessarily something that you get that easy. So that when you do get to that end game, and okay, I've reached the end game, I've experienced the how to actually play this character. Well, now I can also experience this other stuff.
I would disagree with that.
Really?
Well, yeah, I don't want to go to end level before I can get housing. And what you're going to do is you're going to get people racing through to get to the level where they can get it because all they want to do is housing. There's some people who just want to do the housing. You know what I mean? Like they're not. That's what happened with ArcAge. Everyone raced. They found the quickest way to race to get to the part where they could have housing, and then they plopped down all their stuff.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to make sure they had their house where they wanted it.
And they were trying to do it to make money because they knew they could sell plots for buku bucks.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you were saying earlier, Shannon. Just kind of make it level up, you know, what you're getting as you grow with the game. So you'll start with something small, it'll get bigger.
Full apartment, then a bigger,
And
start
at
with
the most,
studio,
at the most, do away with banks in the world. Banks don't hold your crap. Like, let your crap be in your housing and in your bags and your pack mule and that sort of stuff.
That's true.
Banks lend money. You know, so
that's true. Yeah, it's not a locker. Yeah.
So that's one thing I'd like to see most games do. If anything for housing, use housing instead of banks.
That's what Anarchy Online did for their housing.
Really?
You actually put your stuff in. Yeah, it was storage in your like little apartment and stuff.
And it gives you a reason to buy little, you know, closets or whatever cupboards, whatever the things they called back then.
I just let shit pile up. It's like MMO hoarders in my place.
Boxes and boxes. You would have so much candy corn from Guild Wars.
There's like 5 cats in here. I don't know where they are. Smells like cats though.
Yeah.
Oh, smell-o-vision to go with your house.
Yeah.
Why do we always get this sick debuff when we go into Slurm's house? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Slurms is like, hey guys, you could use my place. I got tons of. No, we're all right. We're okay.
But the I got some Yoo-hoo.
No one wants Yoo-hoo. It's all.
I got cheese sticks.
Is it strawberry?
Everything's just curdled and bad.
If you can get to the fridge, I think there's some cheese sticks in there.
I got some yogurt. It's a little old.
Lumpy.
I think we're done with housing, right?
Yeah.
All
Housing.
right.
We like it.
We like housing.
Housing.
It's the verdict. That's our review.
Agree. Did we kind of agree on what we wanted? We want
No.
No, we didn't agree. Okay.
But we know that we all like housing.
Yeah.
There's something there.
All right.
We want to hit a little bit of news before we sign off for the night.
Yes, we should have something of value since I couldn't say words for like 20 minutes.
It's your basement floor. That's what it is.
My back is killing me. You know what? My excuse is my back is killing me, and I'm distraught.
Oh, there you go.
From the move there.
A couple bits of news before we call off the rest of the show. Guild Wars 2 revealed the Revenant Elite spec, which I don't know why it never clicked in my mind that, like, okay, all the classes in the game are going to get elite specs going into the Heart of Thorns expansion. For some reason, it never clicked that the new class was also going to get one, but they are, and it's called the Herald. You are basically the Herald. You are using the legendary hero Glint, the Dragon Prophet. And the legendary stance, the legendary dragon stance, now I'm messing up on my words, will allow you to use a shield and basically become more of a frontline tank. It'll give you a lot of boons that you can use on your party members. But if you want a lot more detail than that and probably better words, go to Massively OP. They actually got the exclusive first glance at the the Herald Elite spec. So go to Massively OP and check that out. It's a good read. Looks kind of cool. But along with that, not along with that, but other than that, real quick, Final Fantasy 14 will be launching in Korea tomorrow. Actually, an hour from now, from when we're recording this, on August 14th, it is launching in Korea. I only wanted to bring it up because they're sticking with the subscription model.
Shut up!
Huh.
Yeah, so in a land known for free-to-play games, and also
but what kind of subscription model? Because isn't it?
Is
it monthly or is it?
Yes.
Hourly.
Yeah, because it's generally hourly in those areas.
Maybe I'm not sure of the details, but it's the blurb I read was that they were sticking with a monthly subscription. But
that's amazing.
I will have to look into that, and I will report back next week if I was incorrect.
No, I'm sure you're fine.
Well, but I also my sources might not be good. But yeah, that's very interesting because with all the retooling that other games have done in the past in order to get around issues with having monthly subscriptions so that they could launch in Korea and become a viable game over there, it kind of shocked me. So
yeah,
we will see how that goes for him.
And he doesn't shock easy, folks.
No, I don't. I'm assuming that they meant South Korea. By the way, probably not North.
Kind of housing related news. Neverwinter Strongholds launched too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't have time to check it out because the time I would have checked it out, my computer was failing to load everything. So. Well,
apparently our guild has.
Yeah. Winnin sent out an info today. We have our own stronghold, and so I can check it out. I know Jason. Well, that was the other thing too. Jason was going to check it out, and he was actually one talking with Wear It and Winnin about all of it. So I was kind of going to get his input, but he's broken. So
broke.
We'll talk about that next week, maybe.
Strongholds. I got a level 50 on there. I think I haven't gone back though.
Yeah.
But there's strongholds.
No,
there aren't strongholds.
Brand new, so I doubt you.
You don't get those. You got to go like make them or something.
I guess I don't know. It's brand new though. It just came out like this week in the game. So. Oh,
I'm sure I have one in my pocket somewhere.
Okay.
And let me look at my inventory real quick. I think there's a stronghold in there.
I don't think you got it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm riding one. It's a new stronghold mount. They've got.
I don't think
it just flops around with towers all around me.
I don't think that's what that is at
all.
Hey,
it flies. Hey, my stronghold flies.
But it's not exactly housing. Nope. There's like something to do with like you can go and be like top level. So you know, it's a viable thing you'll want to do even if you're a low level. So there's some boosting involved in some questing and playing and stuff. So strongholds are supposed to be fun, and I kind of want to check it out and see what that all means, because I saw them talking about it on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot more than housing going on with that thing.
So did they add new levels?
I don't know.
I hope not. I don't want new levels. It's more work.
What are you talking about? I don't know.
Just let me fly around on my stronghold. That's all I want to do.
I don't think you're using the words correctly. I think you've caught Shannon.
I think this episode only makes sense if you play it backwards.
I tell you, between me not being able to say words
and Brent just making up stuff.
Yeah. Anyway.
So these are like guild houses, basically. No.
Yeah, but there's some playing, and like there's something to do. Like you can play, you know.
Can protect your stronghold.
Like stronghold versus stronghold.
There's some play elements to it as well. So kind of want to check out what that is. But
so you can't fly around on them. Is that what you're telling me?
You might be able to.
Okay, good. You heard it here first.
I want you to try
fly around on your stronghold.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go download it. That's what I'm gonna
check
do.
on that next. I'm not. I'm gonna play EverQuest and try. And just get.
Tell Brent that we're gonna do that.
Just get someone to let me in their guild. Probably not. But I'm gonna try.
Oh, you had to have like that ARC downloader for this one. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Oh, I use Skype. I use Steam.
Oh.
But don't you have to use the ARC thing now?
I don't know. I just click on. If it does, I don't notice it. I just click on the Steam thing.
Oh, because you have it set to play on your Steam thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it still opens it. I have no idea. I don't pay attention.
Oh, great. It looks like I'm not going to be flying around on my stronghold.
Yeah. You eat your stronghold. That's what it is. It's made of food.
It's food.
Yeah, it's a chef skill.
Now you're just making stuff up. I don't think that's proper, Shannon. We shouldn't just be making stuff up. People aren't going to tune in to hear.
It's better than my housing discussion.
Next, we're the onion of the MMO news.
There you go. Well, at least we're something then, right?
Fly around in your stronghold.
And then eat it for dinner.
And eat it. And it will fill you up. And you will feel very full. And floating in the sky. Do it now. Tell them we sent you. Tell who? I don't know. Just tell them.
Yeah, football dude saying it's like housing and quests and some PvP elements involved with strongholds. It's a big deal. Seems like it could be fun. Could be cool. Let's go see it out. Check it out.
I'm going to check it out. I am checking it out.
Anything, Slurms? Do you think we should... I think this is derailing into chaos here. Let's call this a show. Call it a show.
This is a show.
There you go. Good job.
So get the fuck out of here.
I'll do better next time we have a discussion.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Go fly in your strongholds.
Good night, chat room. This guy has to go sleep.
Me too.
Really? Okay, so that's officially done. I'm really, really sorry about the mess.